feels so good to press this point in the temples. Look, it's level with the eyebrows, and your fingertips will just fit into this point. Rotate slowly, taking deep breaths. This point is on the triple warmer meridian. A lot of people want to know, what is the triple warmer and what does it do? I'll tell you one thing it does. It helps to balance our brain, the centers of our brain that control our basic desires. Quenches thirst. Helps to balance appetite. If you know the meridians and what they do, you'll know so much healing information. And this is just one example, that this is on the triple warmer, which governs the burners and governs the different areas of your body to heal it. I'm Michael Gach, and welcome to this Acupressure Meridian Masterclass. Hey, we're going to go right into traditional Chinese medicine, to hands-on, to learn why the meridians contain hundreds of keys to balance your energy flow and to be able to understand how to help different common ailments and blockages in your body. Let's get right into it. I want to show you a point that so many of you do know, this point right here. So this point is the fourth point on the large intestine meridian. See, the large intestine meridian starts right here, and by time it travels to this point, this is the fourth point on the large intestine meridian. Then the meridian continues to go through to the elbow, all the way up through the shoulder, up into the roots of the teeth, the sinuses, and into the frontal areas of the brain. And that's why this point triggers relief to the brain. How you know that is by knowing the meridian. By knowing this is the meridian that connects with the colon. And not only do you know that this will trigger a relief of a toothache or sinus congestion, it helps to release it, as well as a headache. So yes, I would use these points that I was just showing you, and this point. And my aim in teaching and offering this webinar is so that you can learn some real powerful healing techniques and skills and points. And what I'm going to focus on in this webinar are the meridians, which are the channels of human electrical energy that connect the acupressure points. There's 365 traditional acupressure points. Now, what connects them? What releases them? These pathways that are called the meridians that connect with your internal organs and your glands and your lymphatic system and your vascular system and your nervous system and your reproductive system and your digestive system. If you know where these meridians go and that's what I want to teach you. And we're going to get far in this webinar. I'm going to show you points on the spleen meridian. I've already covered triple warmer. Just highlight. So much to learn when you're learning these. In fact, what I want to do, and I used to teach this long ago. It's like I'm ancient. No, I've been teaching acupressure for 45 years. And when I would teach for the first 40 years, I would either teach the meridians in a 6-week class or in 3 long full days as a weekend workshop. You know what? My students would get overwhelmed. So what I did last year, this first time ever, is I taught it as a year-long meridian training class. I called it the Acupressure Training Circle. Anyways, I'm going to offer it again. I'll tell you more about that later, but let's get right into more of the healing information. Because this point and this meridian, the large intestine meridian, why is it called large intestine? Because the meridian, the energy pathway, actually goes into the colon to nourish it. You see, the functions of the body are contingent on the flow of the healing energy that flows through these channels. Now, where does it get blocked? That's like a huge question, right? Where does the energy get blocked? And then how do you release it? The energy gets blocked in spots on the body, very specific spots that are called acupressure points. That's why we're so interested in learning them, because it's not only where the energy gets blocked, these acupressure points, but they're the keys for releasing blockages in the body. And when you do that and energy flows, the body goes back into balance. What do they call that? In Western medicine, they call that homeostasis. Acupressure reinforces homeostasis. Where on the meridians does the energy get blocked? On the points on the meridian. So, 5,000 years ago, traditional Chinese medicine mapped out how the energy, the qi, the life force flows, where it goes. And the truth is that when you study the meridians, you realize, oh my goodness, these meridians are covering every square inch of the body. It doesn't leave anything out. These meridians are holistic. If you want to learn how to heal the body with your hands. Now, these are the same points as that acupuncturists use with needles, but we're using hands instead of needles on the same points, same meridians, same principles as acupuncture. That's why I love acupressure so much. It's awesome. Okay, we're off to a good start. So, now, how do these meridians interconnect, you might ask? Because it's like just this channel here and that's it? No. First of all the meridians interconnect. Second of all, they interconnect in various ways. And if you know the 5 elements, you've probably heard of the law of the 5 elements. It's part of traditional Chinese medicine. And this is part of really learning acupressure holistically. There's fire, there's earth, water, wood, and metal. Those are the 5 elements. And each one, like for instance, just an example, wood relates to the liver and the gallbladder meridians. And if your wood is healthy, then your wood is healthy wood in a tree is flexible. But if you're stiff, I'll tell you honestly, my body used to be stiff. I thought, it's just the way I am. No, it's at that point in my life, my liver and gallbladder meridians had some blockages in it. I don't have that problem anymore because I've been able to use Qigong, breathing exercises, certainly acupressure, to help myself. So, I try to walk my talk, and that's why I love to teach and love to live life to its fullest. I don't feel 65 years old. I studied acupressure when I was 20, and that's the math. I've been doing acupressure for 45 years, and I just love to teach it and share it because it's so healing and rich and hands-on. So, let's go. One thing I want you to know, because a lot of people have been, they've been hurt or they've been traumatized in their life. Some people have been abused. This should make sense to you. That let's just this gets registered. These emotional hurts and traumatic experiences, the body is like a biocomputer and registers this. So when you hold acupressure points and breathe deeply and the points start to release, your body and your mind start to integrate and you start to have healing experiences. And that's what it's all about. So I'm not just showing you this point. This is superficial. It's good to know. This is a very powerful point to know. This is the 4th point on the large intestine meridian. Yes, it is good for headaches. But now you know, because you know where the large intestine meridian goes, that wherever that meridian flows, this point is going to have an effect on it. Yes, this point will have an effect on your elbow, because the meridian from here travels into the elbow and your shoulder. If you have shoulder pain, this point can help release it. I bet you didn't know that. But if you know the meridian, you know all of this healing information. You know that this point is also good for the sinuses. Why? Because the large intestine meridian goes into the sinuses. If you have toothache, use this point, because the large intestine meridian goes into the teeth, and then it goes into the brain. And that's where most people pick up on this and know that, oh, this point is good for headaches. Yeah, that's right. But I want to teach you more than just this one little thing is good for just that thing. That's what I call superficial. I want you to know the whole system. I want you to be able to practice acupressure holistically. It's so wonderful to know all this. Okay, let's go into the spleen meridian, because it really tells a beautiful story. The spleen meridian starts on the inside of the cuticle of your large toe. You visualize that? And from there it goes up through your arch, all the way up the inside of your legs, goes through the groin, and it continues from the groin area in here, and continues up. Oh, internally it goes into its partner, the stomach, in here. And then once the energy, this is healing energy I'm talking about, that's going through the spleen meridian. And then the meridian comes up to the levels of the lung. And from the lungs, the meridian then ends right here. So what the spleen meridian does is it mixes the essence of the energy of food with the essence of the energy that you're breathing, air. Food energy plus the oxygen that you breathe, when you mix them together, who does that in the body? In traditional Chinese medicine, it's the spleen. I want to show you like a major, huge, important healing point on the spleen meridian. I don't just want to talk about this. So let me put a dot on the point. So I'm going to put a dot on the point and show you spleen SP4. There we go. And the dot fell off. I'll show it to you. I'll persevere. There it is. Okay. See, there's the ball of my foot. And the acupressure point is located on the arch. 1 thumb's width from the ball of your foot. There you go. So I like to hold it with my thumbs, placing my fingers on the outside of the top of the foot, and then my thumb goes right onto the point. You can hold it like this. There's many different ways to use acupressure, many different techniques. I want to show them all because you should do what feels comfortable and is healing for you individually. Some people are double jointed. Some people have arthritis in their thumbs. So I want to show you the gamut, the whole picture, so that you have freedom to in what points that you're pressing. This point SP4, is called the Spleen Low Point. And I want to teach you all the low points. What are they? They're the points that connect with their partner. In the meridian system, there's 12 meridians. And each meridian is paired up. Now, we're talking about the spleen meridian. So the spleen meridian is paired up with its partner, the stomach meridian. Now, this point is the fourth point on the spleen meridian. That's why it's called SP4. Okay, and this point helps to balance the energy of two meridians, not just one. It balances the stomach and the spleen meridians. So this point is excellent for indigestion, for gas, for gastritis, for all kinds of stomach imbalances. So that if you know somebody who overeats, even that's a good point to use. This point is good for locally here, SP4 is what I'm showing you. Okay. And it's good locally for the foot, for foot cramps, foot pain, including gout. I would use this point. It's good for menstrual cramps. And it's especially good point for edema. Again, this is the point, SP4. Now, it's important that you wear good shoes that have a good arch support, because then you're getting this point pressed. See, we can use these points and press them in our lives in a whole number of ways. There's no limit to this. Yes, if you stimulate the point with a needle, it's very strong, but there are ways to use your hands that are as powerful as needles. So I want you to know that this point is also really helpful if you know somebody who has chronic fatigue or fibromyalgia. Great point to know. You know, it's a gem. What did I say about the spleen meridian? It helps to generate great energy, healing energy for the body. Now, that's why I wanted to cover this meridian, the highlights of it. I can't teach you every single thing about the spleen meridian, and there's 12 meridians. There's just such a wealth of information. That's why I want to take it slow with people who want to learn more about this healing system that's based on traditional Chinese medicine. Yeah, I want to take a whole year and cover one meridian a month so that you don't get rushed through it. And every week I'd like to send you an email with at least 1 or 2 new instructional videos where I'm really giving you the next step, the next points, the next meridian, and introducing you. You know, every month I want to give you self-care techniques for each meridian. It's something that, you know, I told you I've been teaching this for 45 years, but this is something that, you know, on my first book is focused on what points stimulate certain things in the body using posture to press the points. What postures? Yoga postures. And then I realized, oh, you know, some people can't do yoga postures. So I've put together many different, really powerful ways to open up the healing energy in your body. So, for instance, there's hand mudras. You've seen people do this before. Sometimes when people talk, they do this. Remember I told you that the large intestine meridian goes like this, right? Well, that's where the large intestine meridian starts, right here, right? Okay? And connect it with this thumb, which is where the lung and large intestine are connected when you use that mudra. So I want to show you different mudras. These are self-healing hand positions. And you can use them with meditation. So I really, really, really have so much to share with you. So let's continue on. I want to show you another point. It's the most famous point in China. Actually, it's the most famous point in Western medical research. And it's right here. It's 3-finger wrist. Find your wrist crease. See this crease right here? It's the most major crease of my wrist. So I'm going to make whether you make a fist or your hand, you just bend your hand. There you can see the crease really, really well. Right in the center of that crease, if I go 3-finger widths, you see the edge of this finger is going right onto that crease. And where this finger ends, that's where the point is. And this is the point right there. There it is. This point is called the inner gate. I want you know, all the points have different numbers and different meanings and names. This is the inner gate point. Neiguan. I don't know all the Chinese names, but I know this one. This one's really powerful for soothing your internal condition. And so, go ahead, press it on yourself. You can use your thumb. You can use your fingers. If I use my fingers, I'm going to go in back with my thumb and grasp it. So there's very specific ways to hold points so that's more effective. Yeah, this is the 6th point on the Pericardium Meridian. Now, the reason why I want to show you that is because it's such a powerful internal healing point. It soothes and balances your internal condition, physically and emotionally. If you want to be calmer, if you want to nurture yourself, press this point. Look, if I just cross my hands like this, it presses this point. Then I can use my fingers to hold points on my chest. You see, there's so much rich, different ways to heal yourself using the points and the meridians. And that's why I so love to share this with you. That's why I'm offering this webinar, so you can really see, my goodness, it's not really me, it's traditional Chinese medicine that I focused on for the last 45 years. And I've been teaching it, so I'm very comfortable teaching, and I love it. I love it so much to be able to give people the skills and the points and the techniques to be able to heal themselves and others. That's what it's all about in my life. So I'm going to tell you a significant story that happened to me and link it to how it really affected my life in terms of boosting my ability to be able to understand what's going on with this energy flow and how to feel it through the pulses. You see, one day there was a Chinese man that walked into my office, and he asked me if I did acupuncture, and I said, I don't do acupuncture, I do acupressure. He said, well, do you take Medicare? And I said, no, I don't take Medicare. He said, do you take Medi-Cal? I said, no, I'm not a doctor, and I don't. So then I looked at him and I said, wow, he was old Chinese man, beautiful man. I mean, you could see it. I like, oh my God, he's right in front of me, my teacher. I know he's my teacher. He's going to go down the steps, and I'd be out of my life if I don't connect with him in some way. Because, maybe I could do a trade with him. So I asked him, do you know herbs? Do you know Chinese? He said to me, I'm not an herbologist. I said, and then I thought, you can only go so far with people, who he's a stranger. So I said, do you happen to know traditional Chinese breathing exercises? And he looked at me and he said, I am 88 years old now. And when I was 42, I was very sick. And I think I would have died a few years later if it wasn't for these traditional breathing exercises. And I said, I would love to do acupressure on you if you'll teach them to me. So every week we got together. I really love this old man. So precious. And he had volumes written in Chinese, and he would translate them to me. Eventually, I put it into a book, and it's called Greater Energy at Your Fingertips. But I'm not trying to sell my books. I'm trying to just tell you a story of how I know this healing information. So, he's decided that he trusted me enough and that I was interested enough in traditional Chinese medicine that he would take me to a great healer. And we went into Chinatown in San Francisco. And this man was taking the pulses of many people. Many people, my goodness. They were wrapped around the block. We went to the end of the line, and I was thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to communicate with this Chinese man who just, I don't speak Chinese, he doesn't speak English, how am I going to communicate with him? So we finally got to the line, and he said to me, oh, acupressure. But when he did it, he was pressing here. Acupressure. And when he laughed, I could tell that he wasn't really respectful of acupressure. In fact, he believed that his needles were what stimulates the points. But I immediately took his hand and pressed the point, and he didn't have a dot, didn't fall off. I pressed the point on him, and he looked me into the eyes and he said, oh my God, you know how to tap the energy, the healing energy of the body. I knew he said that because I know how to say that in Chinese. It's da qi. Da, tap the qi, the life force, the healing energy of the body. And I said, yeah. And he opened up to me, and I went like this. And I said, this is the first pulse position, the second pulse position. And we exchanged, and I pointed to different areas of my body. Does this area of my body relate to this pulse position? And he said, yes, you've got it. That's right. That's how I read the pulses, and we had a connection without speaking each other's language. And I learned so much right then and there. I want you to know that in traditional Chinese medicine, and most acupuncturists say that it takes 20 years to learn how to read the pulses. Traditional Chinese pulse reading. I don't believe that. I believe, because I've been teaching people for over 40 years. And I know that I can teach you how to read the pulses and how to press the points and work with the meridians in just a year or two. And then we can build on that, and I can teach you more specific healing information, both for yourself, healing other people, and showing so that you can show them how they can heal themselves. We all need this healing information. That's why I'm so passionate about it. It not only relieves stress, it not only relieves pain, it not only relieves common ailments, but it balances the emotions. This is such important healing information. Everybody in the world should have it. So I'm wanting to teach it to you. So what I'm doing is I'm starting a group next week. Actually, it's starting right now. If you want to learn, hey, what is he doing? You want to just tune into it. Just go to acupressure and spell it with one C, A-C-U, and then pressure, acupressure circle. And you'll, go there so that you can get a free video. It's a 45-minute free video. It's the first thing that you're going to see when you go to acupressurecircle.com. I'll post acupressurecircle.com in a little bit, but you've got it. Share it with your friends. You can get this free. What is it? It's a free video, and I really spent a lot of time, went into studio, had 3 cameras on me the way I have when I actually teach for online trainings. And you'll see that I'm really focused on the meridians. And I'll show you, I'll go through all the meridians and tell you what they're all good for, like in about the middle of the training. I'll also tell you what you'll learn if you study with me for a year. Well, my training is longer than a year. It's called the Acupressure Training Circle. So if you're interested, what I do is I'll send you right to your house these short instructional videos that you can use on yourself and on others. 1 meridian, 1 month, 1 meridian on the other month. So I'll start with 1 full month showing you all the meridians and the patterns that they create, and also the traditional Chinese body clock. Let me explain this to you. Did you know that in traditional Chinese medicine, they have this mapped out so amazing that if you have a symptom, a problem, an ailment, a complaint, or just you feel fatigued some time of the day, hey, if I know that, I know what meridians are blocked. Just like that. I want to show you that. It's called the traditional Chinese body clock. Because the meridians go through at different times of the day. But I believe the way I'm going to show it to you, you'll learn it. Because I love it. And I have connections to make it stick, to integrate it into your life and into your mind. So many teachers, they teach by the book. I don't do that. I teach from the heart. Because I love it. It's really easy for me to do that. So look, if you study with me with the Acupressure Training Circle, it'll only take you at the most 2 hours a week. But a lot of students, a lot of people who are thinking about this are thinking, I got a busy life. When am I going to have... I've got all kinds of things in my schedule. When are these classes? They're not classes. They're videos that I send you in the beginning of the week, and you have the whole week. Let's say you have a busy week and you didn't get to it. It's okay. There's a ton of flexibility in this online program. So that's what it's all about. I just wanted you to know that there's no schedule. There is a format so that we can go through and learn the meridians in a systematic and organized way so you can learn a ton of healing information. Okay? So, look, it's just wonderful to be part of a healing community. And that's part of being, of joining the Acupressure Training Circle, because you'll have a supportive international healing community so that you can get the most out of. I'm going to actually once a month do a webinar for all of my students, and I'll be answering the most major questions that you have. But also, underneath each video, you'll have the opportunity, if something was confusing or it raises a question, to ask me a question. And every day or every other day, I'll check that and get back. And everybody who asks me a question will have access to my answers. It's just a way of sharing this information. Look, I hope that you found this webinar and this last whatever it's been, 40, 45 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever it's been. I can't keep track of this. I just hope it's been worthwhile for you, because your time is valuable and I want to respect it. So I want to send you blessings, both on your growth and on the healing work in your life.